Welcome to the show, 5 Stripe FM. I'm AJ. And wherever it is you get your pods, subscribe, share, and leave us a good rating. Welcome to another episode of 5 Stripe Weekly, and Atlanta United drew NYCFC at the Kids Playpen 1-1. I'm, of course, talking about Yankee Stadium, where, unfortunately, we still have not won a regular season match. But in this match, it proved to be a little bit costly. We will find out the extent of what that means later in the episode. But as well, there were some very questionable calls from the ref and VAR, and it is definitely something that we will talk about. But Atl United, they went down to 10 men in this match, and it was a contentious one, a gritty one, and something that's, I think at the very least, we were able to get a result in a place that has been a shop of horrors. So, yes, the match, at least in terms of the 11, it started off with the same starting 11 as last week that beat the New York Red Bulls 1-0. Caleb Wiley at left back, Derek Etienne at left wing, and Andrew Gutman, he made the bench after his adductor injury sidelined him for that match, but good to see that he was able to get back into the squad and train this past week. But that first half, in terms of the action, started early. There was a free kick outside the box in the first few minutes of the match, and Thiago Almada, he didn't have to put too much on his free kick to give Atl United a chance on goal. He drove a ball into the box, and Miles Robinson got his head on it, but unfortunately, it flew over the crossbar. But yes, also in that first half, very scary moments. There was a collision in the box with an NYCFC attacker, and he collided with Brad Guzan, and Juanjo Parata was also in the area trying to sweep up the ball, but Guzan able to pick up the ball, but the collision knee to knee, he screamed immediately and pretty much was motioning to the sideline and pounded the ground, and he had to be tended to by our trainers. But it definitely scary moments, but he was able to stand back up. He remained in the game, and it was he did have a couple saves, and definitely kept us in the match. But definitely scary moments, and we will find out, further the injury to Guzan. But Derek Etienne, unlucky not to be a scorer because he was very busy in the first half. He looked to score the first goal of the match in the 22nd minutes, but there was an offside call. That also, I'm not sure if they drew a line or not. They don't draw lines apparently in MLS, but very, very tough there for Etienne. He, probably will gain the confidence from scoring that goal, but of course it doesn't count. But that sequence was at least a ball over the top, and it was laid off to Almada, and the World Cup winner, he controlled the ball in traffic, took a shot that required a block from Luis Barraza, and Etienne finished the rebound, but the goal was called back to Etienne being offside earlier in the play. But there were some other Looks from Yakumakis in the first half. In the 12th minute, Almada had another free kick from another similar spot. And Yakumakis, he slid, but he kind of redirected the ball away from goal. And that ball was cleared away. But yes, as well in the 30th minute, Brooks Lennon, he chased down an ambitious through ball from Almada, and Lennon, he crossed it from the end line, but the ball was behind him, and Yakumakis' run, it didn't quite go into his run. It's one of those balls that I think you want to see Brooks Lennon just get better at. He's got the pace to get to the byline, and if he's able to hit that ball to the near post, I think Yakumakis would have had a tap in. And so, instead of those long crosses that he's well known for, I think one of these would have been, I think we rue this chance for sure. We had some chances to really change the game state in this, but you have as well NYCFC having some shots where it required Guzan to dive in the 33rd minutes, and it is a first half that there was at least another chance that Amar Sejdic, he made an impressive diving header to get a ball on goal, but yes, their keeper Baranza made a quick little reflex save, and that could have been Sejdic's first of the season. But basically that first half scoreless, and the second half absolutely bananas. I mean, just you have a red card, of course, which we'll get to, but also 10 minutes of stoppage time. Now, there was another match that was not this match, but there was another match over the weekend that was 21 minutes of stoppage time. So, just a really long weekend of stoppage time for a lot of games. But in terms of this red card play, I mean, so it's a 50-50 ball in midfield, and Franco Barra is going for it, as well as NYCFC's James Sands. And Sands, he gets the ball first, just gets the ball. Barra, he studs down, makes fairly high contact in the kind of shin ankle area on Sands. But initially, the call from the center ref was that it was a yellow card on Sands. But instead, VAR intervenes, has the ref look at the play, and he calls it pretty much that, once you have him looking at the replay, you knew that Franco Ibarra probably was in trouble. And Ibarra, he gets a red, but not before Mateus Rossetto gets the red instead. It was a case of mistaken identity, but he was standing on the sidelines, and he had this incredulous look on his face because he hadn't even gone into the match yet. But the center ref, I think it just exemplifies how much of a mare he had, that he didn't even know which player he was red carding. But I can forgive it just a little bit because Franco Ibarra, he was on the sidelines after he had been down for some time, receiving some treatment. But really ridiculous, and a turn of events that basically got us down to 10 men, and 62nd minutes, majority of that second half. But we showed a lot of heart. I mean, we were able to open that scoring. We were still pinning them into their half, and we got a corner. Thiago Almada, he was able to knock it around and open up some space. He dribbled towards the box. He stood the ball up to the back stick. And yes, who was waiting there? But of course, Yorgos Giacomakis, who finished it off with a flying header off the crossbar. And yes, gave us the lead in the 70th minute. But yes, it was the Greeks' third goal of the season. He's now scored in his first 3 MLS starts. Really, really fantastic from the Greek striker. But yes, as well, though, the lead did not last long. 2 minutes later, NYCFC, they are able to level it, where there was this really good take from Pereira. He lets the ball come across him, and essentially right outside the box, he is able to strike it with a plumb past a diving Guzan into the top left corner. It's well struck. I mean, just full credit on a really good strike from the NYCFC midfielder. But yeah, so it's 1-1 in the 72nd minute, and I mean, it's squeaky bum time. We have to stave off quite a bit of an attack, but yeah, the 10 minutes as well. I mean, it's tough goings, but we were able to escape with a point. And of course, it's a weird one. You feel like we maybe could have gotten more from this match before the red card, but after that red card, it was pretty much survival mode in terms of, getting that lead. Maybe going after a second goal was not really in the cards. And yeah, ultimately, we kind of got beat in that second half a little bit, kind of near the end. But I think it was gritty. We did what we needed to do to get a result on the road, and I think it's a good point, ultimately. I mean, we probably had the better of the chances in the first half. I mean, our XG was 1.9. Their XG was 1.16. But ultimately, we share the points, and I think it's a fair result. What say you? Let us know in the comments below. But yeah, LA United will play at BMO Field against Toronto FC over the weekend, and we will have that preview for you later on in this episode. But yes, let's get into the news and the standings. The table looks like LA United in third, New England Revolution in second, and FC Cincy, who are still undefeated, in first. And yeah, of other ones to note in terms of teams, Orlando City in 8th, and yeah, NYCFC, who we drew, are in 7th. But yeah, so we are looking pretty decent, at least to start this season. 14 points already from 7 matches at a clip of about 2 per match. But yeah, we our goal difference, yeah, maybe not the best after the loss to Columbus, but yeah, a pretty decent kind of placing in the table at the moment. But let's get to the big news of this week. Unfortunately, Brad Guzan, he tore an MCL in that collision, and he's expected to miss an estimated 10 to 12 weeks. And yeah, it's tough, man. Obviously, he just came back from the Achilles injury, and yeah, didn't look to really miss too much of a beat. He's, looked like his old self. But yeah, that 18th minute when Gabe Siegel, yeah, pretty much collided with him there. Man, it's tough, and it'll be a next man up scenario. But yeah, Amar Sadish, he was talking about that incident. He said, quote, "I thought he was just taking his time getting up, but then he was down for a couple minutes longer than I expected. That's when I thought, oh, something did happen. But at halftime, he seemed fine. He was amped up, ready to go. But yes, it is going to be Quentin Westberg or Clement Jop who will be the understudies here, who will be taking over for the next 10 to 12 weeks for Guzan. So we will see who will be the starting keeper, but it'll be quite interesting. So, but Sejdic, he did say Q is ready, Jop is ready. This is an opportunity for them to help the team, just as it is for any player coming off the bench or even an academy player. It's that next man up mentality. That's the way to approach it. So yeah, tough news for Atlanta United fans and for Brad Guzan, hoping he can recover quickly. But some good news. Caleb Wiley, he makes the U.S. men's national team, the senior men's national team, for the first time. Congrats to the homegrown and the Atlanta native. And yes, he will head to the national team for the All-State Continental Clasico. They will be playing Mexico on April 19th. And yeah, Wiley, he's not expected to miss any Atlanta United matches, which is fantastic. But also, Wiley, he's been having a good week. He was at the combine, the basketball combine, with Derek Etienne Jr. and also Johnny Fortune. And this man was getting buckets. He was shooting threes, looking silky with the ball as well, dribbling and shooting, shooting threes in motion. I mean, yeah, you can see that he's got some skills, man. Like, he's a baller. He's just a straight up baller no matter what game he's playing. And I think it's one of those, like, how do you grow up in Atlanta playing sports without playing basketball? It's definitely one of those. Like, he looked quite good. But also a good bit of news for some Premier League fans as well. There will be quite a number of teams that are coming to the Bends to play some friendlies, but Brentford will be playing Brighton at the Bends, as well as Newcastle United and Chelsea. So it will be a homecoming of sorts. Miggy Almiron will be playing, hopefully, at the Bends, and Darren Eales as well will be making probably an appearance. So a homecoming for both of those legends of Atlanta United. And no doubt, I'm sure Darren Eales had a part to play in making this happen. But yeah, it is July 26th. It's a Wednesday. And yeah, it will be great to see Miguel Almiron light up the Bends for a second go-around, of course, though not in Atlanta United colors. And the last bit of news, Atlanta United 2 fell to NYCFC 2 Sunday night 2-0 at Belson Stadium. And Vicente Reyes, the goalkeeper, he recorded an individual season high of 5 saves. Atlanta United 2, they return to action next Sunday, April 16th, when they host Orlando City B at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. But that does it for the news. Let's get to the match preview. And Atlanta United will be playing Toronto FC at BMO Field in Toronto. Toronto are 9th in the Eastern Conference. They've got 1 win, 5 draws, and 1 loss. And their last match, they drew 0-0 to Nashville SC. So, yeah, it's a team that's, we played earlier in the season at the Bends, of course. And, yes, we, of course, beat them. But we also, yes, they were missing some key players, as well as the very notable Lorenzo Insigne. But Federico Bernardeschi, he, of course, was a thorn in our side a little bit. But, yeah, they still are not a very deep team here. Their key departures from last season, Domenico Crescito, and Alex Bono, but as well as stalwart Chris Mavinga. But they, of course, added Sean Johnson in the off season, and he stood on his head a little bit against us in the last match. But as well, Matt Hedges and Sigurd Rosted. Both of those players have both joined Toronto FC. But yeah, the pundits, they are a little torn with this squad. They are unsure. They have them finishing as low as 13th and as high as 3rd. So it will be very interesting to see just really where they finish at the end of the season. I mean, Bob Bradley has them playing pretty inconsistently, I would say. I mean, they're consistent in draws, but yeah, to be able to drag them into a playoff spot will be some sort of task, probably. They finished 13th in the East last season and, of course, did not qualify. So, yeah, a squad that's a little bit imperfect for sure. But on to Atlanta United for this match. We have, of course, Ozzy Alonso unavailable. We also got Franco Ibarra serving that red card suspension. And, yes, Brad Guzan also missing due to the torn MCL. So that gets us to our predicted starting 11. And, yeah, it's not as easy. Who's going to be between the sticks? Is it going to be Quentin Westberg? Is it going to be Clement Diop? I think it's going to be Quentin Westberg, who's been making the bench. So I would assume he is the man to beat. But the good thing is both of the players are very experienced in this league. But yeah, Westberg between the sticks for me. Lennon, Robinson, Purata, Wiley make the back line. And coming in for Ibarra, I think, is Santiago Sosa. Of course, Mateo Sosetu has played there a little bit in the past, but yeah, I think Santiago Sosa is the more natural player that will be playing the defensive midfield. But Amar Sejdic, I think, keeps his place. I don't think we want to change up too much, although we will see how Sosa and Sejdic played together. They have played in the past, of course, but at least in this iteration, we shall see how that chemistry is going to play out. But Luis Araujo and Derek Etienne Jr. on the wings for me, Thiago Almada in that 10 role, and Yorgos Giacomakis up top. And yeah, that gets us to our score prediction. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I think we will concede some, they'll concede some. I think it'll be a back and forth match. It won't be as easy as it was. Yeah, so it's definitely going to be a little bit of a change. 2 players out of that 11. We'll have to see how the team gels with the absence of those players that were performing for us. So I think it's 2-2. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. But that almost does it for the entire show, except for the question of the day. And the question of the day is, how worried are you about Guzan for the team? Yeah, that absence for the team, what's your worry? I mean, is it going to be a big impact? Will Westberg or Diop or somebody else be able to provide that cover for us until Guzan returns? We'll find out, but let us know in the comments what you think. But guys, that is the episode there and there. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. I've been AJ. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.